You're listening to Bears Beyond the Gate, a Bristol Bears podcast made by fans for fans, with three friends who love the club, the game, and all things Bears. Well, lads, it is officially the end of the season. Obviously, it ended for Bears last weekend with the English qualified game against Sale, but we decided to wait one more week for our end of season.
Suspense.
I know. So I thought we'd give it a week so we could dilute or digest thoughts and ideas, and obviously asked a few listeners for their opinions and tried to digest some of this stuff so that we can sort of put this season to bed.
Literally,
we are going to put it to bed after this. We're not going to wake it up again, are we? And
No, not till September.
Not till September. So so first things first. I mean, let's just deal with facts. Just deal with them first, because we're always a bit wary about facts, aren't we?
Yeah, we check these. Promise.
We use them occasionally, don't we?
That was one learning from the season. So anyway, just the facts. So basically, as everyone knows, but we'll just remind everybody, we ended up finishing in 6th place. We won 11 out of 18, lost 7. We had 10 bonus points, and we finished with 54 points. And interestingly, though, we only had a points difference of plus 16. And there were probably there was one very big reason for that at some point.
Northampton Saints.
Yeah, exactly. The interesting thing is that we won more games than Saracens, but finished 3 points behind them, and we won the same number of games as Chiefs and finished 9 points behind them. No, 11 points behind them. So
bonus points.
Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, it is what it is. We ended up 6th. Doesn't in the end it didn't matter whether we were 5th, 6th, or whatever. Sharks came 7th, and they were miles behind us. So I suppose the only crumb of comfort is we got the opportunity to try and get into the knockouts of the Champions Cup and get mullered by a French team again.
Deja vu all over again next season.
Could be deja vu all over again. I mean, that would be an interesting debate point. It's like, would we like that again? Because obviously a lot of fans gave us some very good feedback about that away game at Toulouse. And actually, if you treated it as an experience rather than a serious assault on the trophy, it's still worth it, isn't it?
It would be nice if we could actually get ourselves organised around going to a French away game.
Rather than a West Wales.
Oh, we're never going there again, are we? Let's face it.
I think you're right. The occasion and the venue would be a plus point. So we're not going to promise, but we will strongly advise that we will definitely try to get to a international away gig next year.
Yeah. Anyway, what I thought we'd do though is that it is an end of season review. So what we'll do is we'll whip through the games. Just go. I've got them all. I've got them copied. The scores all copied and pasted. We'll have a whip through, so we kind of relive the season, as it were, and maybe just make a couple of comments on each of them, and then perhaps when we get to the end, we'll have a more. Well, actually, when we get to the end, we said we were going to do our little. We've got some awards.
We have
that we will give, and then when I make it more serious, I say a slight deeper dive into what we think about coming 6th, whether it's acceptable and what issues is it raised. Some that we've already rehearsed and talked about, but it is a tie-up. So here we go. First game of the season. Obviously, last year it wasn't till 28th of September, so we had to wait quite a long time. There was a couple of Prem Cup games before. Never really gets going the season, does it? And we won that first game 42-24, beat Tigers. It was 17-all at half time, looking back at that. So actually, that was, I can't quite remember what I was thinking at half time, apart from the fact that we'd lost 3 of our biggest players, hadn't we, to hamstrings. That was the day that Randall, Ogre and Adge all got hamstring injuries, or Achilles and hamstring. So that kind of disappointment very, very, very early was tempered by actually a really good win, 42-24.
I remember we thought that was going to be quite a close game, didn't we?
It was. I mean, that was a big first game of the season. That was a massive, like a 20,000 crowd, wasn't it? And I think that was Fitz's 100th appearance as well.
Yeah, so and he scored after 60 minutes.
He did, absolutely.
Which interestingly became a bit of a habit.
Yeah. Was it LRZ's debut as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, and Tom Jordan,
and his
debut or in the actual Prem. Yeah. So great start.
And Reece Zammit scored right at the end, didn't he? He ran half the length of the pitch, came off a ruck and showed a bit of gas out there. So we were all feeling chipper, apart from the injuries. Feeling chipper. It's always good to beat Tigers. So of course then.
You went to the next match, didn't you, Pete?
I was that chipper. I thought I'd drive all the way to bloody Barnet to watch Saracens, thinking, you know what, it might be worth it. Anyway, we got hammered 50-17, and that was just a dire game. And I think we just got overpowered very quickly on that plastic pitch. Just didn't seem ready for it. And yeah, 50-17. There was barely anything positive to come out of it apart from Boshoff, because that's what I remember he played, and I thought he played well.
And but you did get a pie and a pint.
You got a pint,
didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I did.
That's a positive.
Yeah,
surely.
I did.
Yeah. Marmy, I think Marmy got a hat trick, didn't
Marmy
he?
got a hat trick because Marmy got a hat trick. You're right, 43, 62, 74, and I think Reece Zammit showed a bit more gas in that game. I just sort of think the trouble is it's like it's a cheap hat trick. It's like we could have done with that and another time. And I mean, Mark, not detract from Marmion, but you know, it's a shame that quality didn't really mean anything apart from it was, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be going up to West London again in a hurry, will you? To
West London,
North London. Sorry to repeat that. Yeah. West London, we get a better game.
I would say about the stadium, it's quite. You can walk around it. I mean, one thing you can say about that stadium, you can watch them all warming up, and you can chat to them. I think I talked to Dunny before and after the game. He still came and had a chat with me despite getting shellacked, because that was his first game back after that shoulder surgery.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he had a bit of a
I think we got more injuries there, didn't we? I'm sure I wrote that Joe Jenkins and Tom Jordan.
That was Jenkins got injured, and we didn't see him again until the end of the season.
That was a shame, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and Louis Brissam, either an HIA or something. He was right, so another three in 2 games. Flipping it.
And this was so. After that, we then, you know, that excitement of winning against Tigers was tempered by being hammered by Saracens, and then we were back at the gate on Saturday, the 11th of October, against Exeter Chiefs.
Well, a game which we thought we'd win quite handsomely, if we're all honest, didn't we?
And at half time we were losing 8-14. But we came back to win 18-14, so they didn't score in the second half. And it was a good old gritty, I think it was a good tonic to the week before. And I think just maybe we were starting to think, oh, well, this season, you know, it's going to be tough with these injuries, but, you know, we're grinding out a win like that. Maybe we've got something in us. And I think it was Mata and Ogre scored. Sam Worsley was playing by then, playing at fly half. Yeah, and I seem to remember they did put us under quite a lot of pressure in the second half.
I think Slade put a bit of pressure on. And you remember also that John Jordan had a 20-minute red card.
He did.
And Pepper a yellow. So to get that result with 30 minutes of a team at 14 players is not a bad day out.
It was a tight. I think that was it. We felt confident that.
Well, the beauty of that game was the way we ground it out, isn't it? Because we hadn't really done that over a great period of time. So I mean, I really enjoyed that win. That was a proper kind of test match.
And you look back there and think, would we have said that team we played would be in the final? It's interesting, isn't it, how things go. So anyway, after that grinding out, we then had our annual good night out.
Well, you boys did
at the shed, and me and Miles and Lewis went down and the girls went to the shed, and 49-34. So having been hammered at the shed the year before, we got our just desserts, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
tries to 5. Yeah.
Fitz scored again. Ogre got a brace. Revovo got a brace, and young Sam Worsley kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
19 points. I think he got.
Yeah,
and 2 tries. I think, didn't he?
Yeah, that was Worsley got a try, and great game for him.
You can never take a win at Kingsland for granted.
No.
Historically, so tough.
I mean, I'd like to think that I can't really remember much of that because we had a few beers and I was holding the flag.
We were flagging it and getting abuse.
Flagging the shed and getting abuse, which was good fun. We didn't stay for curry that time, though, did we?
Well, it was a late kickoff, wasn't it?
Hang on, wasn't that the one where? Hang on, the trains were cancelled, weren't they? So we got a taxi all the way back.
We got GWR. They paid for a taxi all the way back to Bristol.
I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah, because the train track, there'd been unfortunate incident, I think, in Weston. Someone had on the tracks, and they cancelled all the trains, and there were no trains, and that was it because someone tried to get in our taxi and jump the queue.
But TC saw to that,
and he wouldn't get out.
Did he take his shoes off?
Yeah,
or something, did he?
So classic. Yeah, the taxi driver he couldn't get him out. The lady, it was from GWR, couldn't get her out. So Tony took his shoes off. And then the guy eventually came out because he had no shoes on. And then we all got in and drove off. That was one of the best moves of the night.
Quickest thinking move of the season by TC,
isn't it?
I know, so then it's kind of we've started with a good win, a bad loss, a ground out win, a really good win, and then the next assignment on the 25th of October was away at the Rec, and of course I don't know, we were quite confident.
Well, it was going fairly well.
And we scored early. Ogre and Ravovo
I think we silenced the crowd, didn't we? With like sort of 10 points in 7 minutes, I believe.
At half time it was 19-15. And then in the end, they won 40-15, but there was interception at the end when we were going for it.
I remember that.
So that score definitely didn't represent the game. They were probably they had definitely deserved to win, but it was a much tighter game. And I remember at the time thinking we gave that a pretty good go, and maybe there's just something building here. We've had these injuries, but we seem to be competing well. And then on the back of that, we then had to wait for a while. It was about a month until our next home game. It was because we had the autumn internationals. And then this was interesting. We had Northampton Saints Saturday the 29th of November. At half time, we were 35-0 up. Can you imagine if we'd gone, we could have scored 90, couldn't we? But we didn't. We scored 46. At 35-0 up, they must have been wondering, how many points are we going to ship here?
Yeah.
Funny how things turn out, isn't
it? Again, this is still early in the season, so the two finalists now for this season we've beaten already, and we're only a few games in.
I know, and actually the interesting thing about that Northampton game, I know they got an early 20-minute red. Todero took out.
Oh, that's right.
Took someone out and went off, didn't he? Who would he took out? I can't remember, but pretty sure our player went off as well. Anyway. So they had a 20. So fair play, we did make the most of that. But when I look at their team sheet that night, they had Manny Yogan, who was playing. They had Davison, who all got England squad. They had Craig Wright hooker, who played on Friday, so he's established. Mm-hmm. They had McParland playing. They had Litchfield playing. They had Finn Smith playing. They had Furbank at fullback, and it might have been his first game back. And actually, I remember thinking McPartland was pretty rubbish that night. He made loads of bad decisions.
I seem to remember I made a joke that it could have been Ant McPartland playing or something.
I think it was. Isn't that the one where Genji scored that try from 50 yards out or something like that? And I'm pretty sure that was. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's funny how things change.
Yeah, it's odd. It's a dazzling display. I think you're right. We had like 5 unanswered tries, didn't we, in the first half? Saints did not know what hit them.
Gala, she earned a few she got a few more royalties that night off us.
She did. Yeah, absolutely.
So we
I think Worsley got 16 points. I think he got top scorer of the game, didn't he?
So suddenly we're going into the sort of Christmas period with. Well, we were pretty much in top 4, weren't we? We must have been. And, also the other thing I was going to say about that, and you mentioned it, Miles, is that, up to that point, Sam Worsley played a couple of games, and we're thinking, this guy looks like the real deal fly half here. He hits the line hard, he's good in defence, he can kick, can score tries. And I think we were all thinking, maybe this is the answer. And obviously Tom Jordan had been away with Scotland, but then had come back, and I think in that game he must have played fullback because he scored after 9 minutes as well. So at that point you're sort of thinking, maybe the Adge injury's not been too bad. We have got a next boy up.
Yeah.
And then after that we then had 2 Champions Cup games. This is when I left our good shores, the country, and Bristol beat Poe 61-12, and the only highlight of that was that you sat next to the guy from Roast Beef Rugby, didn't he?
Absolutely,
who came to the game. Nice, Rob from Roast.
Who's a sort of Poe supporter?
Yeah, he's a Poe supporter. He gave us a massive insight. Telling us he did actually say that he didn't think they'd put a big team out, and because they were like second in the top 14, and yeah, they didn't. And then, of course, Saturday the 6th of December. Oh, no, 6th of December 1st was our night out in West Wales. I
think that's why you left the country for a month, didn't it? Because you were experienced over there.
We won by 17 points to 16.
Oh.
And you're right. Having then under your advice, Miles, going to that pub at 3 a.m. somewhere. I don't remember what it's called, the Red something, wasn't it? Mate, I just thought I want to get out of Europe, not even just like Wales here.
I don't blame you.
It was.
You can take me with you.
that whole. God, did we make that game difficult for ourselves? A 1-point win.
That game was as depressing as the whole bloody area.
It was.
Apologies to anyone who lives in West Wales. Scarlet Land. But,
there are nice parts of it. But
the stadium was like, it's a nice, tidy stadium, but it's empty and it's a kind of soulless walk up to it on a trading estate. And I don't know.
We did have a bit of fun the next morning, though, didn't we, when I fell over ass over tit going to McDonald's and caked my back in mud. Remember that?
We thought we walked all the way around the whole building to try and find the entrance, which had been exactly where we'd come in the first place.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, we had some nice hours of the evening. There was an excellent rugby club, wasn't there? They were, very hospitable, the pub, and we met tons of listeners and Bristol fans. So that was
it was a great...
A halfway house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the only good thing of the evening.
It was an experience. Yeah.
Anyway, and then we beat Poe, and then I left these shores, and then we had our little Christmas run, which started with the big
day out at Twickers.
Big day out at Twickers on the 20th of December, and I was watching that on my phone at like 3 a.m. in Chiang Mai. Couldn't believe what I was watching. We hammered them 40-14. Totally ruined. They were 19-0 down. We were 19-0 up at half time in their big day out. Yeah. I mean, you could never let that happen, could you? An away team coming and ruining your big day out. Anyway, I mean, that was just at that point. I mean, I remember watching this, thinking, "Blooming hell, we could be onto something here." We just seem to be.
I mean, it was a beautiful game. That was the game where Boshoff did a quick line-out throw to Genji, and he literally just sprinted in, literally demolishing the back line. The try-saving tackle, and had a big smile on his face. It was just a sight to behold.
Genji was really on fire.
He was absolutely fantastic.
Tom Jordan was playing 10. He got 1, 2, 3, 4 conversions as well, and then on the back of that, there was very quickly Saturday the 27th. The post-Christmas game was home at Newcastle. Now I was listening to that on Radio Bristol on a VPN at about midnight in Koh Phangan, I think it was, and that the first 20-30 minutes it was pretty horrible listening. It was Dan Albert was doing a great job, but it was. He was painting a really good picture, and the picture was frustration and sort of, we could lose this. That was what everything we seemed to be doing.
Definitely, it was Jackson Pollock at that point, wasn't it?
And then they suddenly scored twice, and I was thinking, we can't lose to Newcastle. We can't.
No,
it's just not on.
Also, because we've had a history of those Christmas games being a nightmare, haven't we?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that straight away, our thoughts were like, "Oh no, not again." But we came through.
We came through. And then that had a little bit of a break. I know we didn't, 27th, and then straight away. New Year, Friday the 2nd of Jan, Sale came into town. And of course, again, at that point in the season, you're thinking, this is not an easy. And everyone's thinking back to the Christmas before, the 38-0 or whatever it was.
It was, yeah.
But again, and I was pretty glad. I thought, I'm quite glad I'm out here in Thailand. And I'm not sure I managed to watch that one. I think I might have listened to that one. But anyway... You boys.
It was pretty dull.
It was dull,
to say the least. It was typical Sale playing, but fair play. The boys stepped up and we played the Sale way, didn't we?
And again, 7-7 at half time. We've in the past we've kind of have thrown those away. So 19-17, again another ground out. So that set us up quite nicely, I guess. For
I think we only went ahead at 72 minutes. It was that tight, wasn't it? Obviously, we'd lost the last 3 games against them.
Bravovo scored after 71 and Williams converted, and then that was it.
That was it. 19-17 final score.
Then we had a little. Then I was back, and we had 2 more
break for Europe
Champions Cups. And
we say Europe.
Well, we entertained Bordeaux on the 18th of January. And actually, we only lost 27-15. And looking at
hang on, we were in Pretoria before that.
I'm reading it the wrong way round.
The Royal we.
Sorry. We went to 10th
the dizzy heights of Pretoria.
Because that was it. I remember Pat Summerall saying that if they'd won all the games, or that Pat said that they'd be allowed to go to Bernard's farm.
That's right. Yeah.
Like for a bit of a barbecue.
Bench press some
a bit of
cattle.
A bit of bra. So anyway, they had an incentive to go and beat the Bulls at altitude in Pretoria.
10 Springboks in the starting lineup as well.
Yeah, 61-49.
I think that was the highlight of the season.
I think it was.
Miles
we were watching it. We couldn't believe it, could we?
Like I can't remember a game we were literally both out of our seat for the entirety. It felt like
checking the foundations of Lee's floor, checking I hadn't fallen through to the premises below.
And if you remember rightly, I had money on it as well.
You did
to win.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. I was a happy bunny.
I mean, there was an amazing start, and we were just slaughtering them, weren't they? But remember, they did come back and score 7 tries to our 9. And there was a little bit of a squeaky bum moment, didn't they, towards the end? But, that's it. I think we had the quickest bonus point in Champions Cup history. Bonus point in 16 minutes. It was that bizarre a game. And fair play, heat, altitude, Springboks.
Yeah, it's almost inexplicable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And that's when I really thought we could do something this season. Not in Europe, admittedly, but in the league. I thought if we
despite the shipping of 49 points.
But it was one of those, at that point, I think we'd all bought into the kind of adage of like, well, we'll score more than you.
Yeah.
And it was working at that point. So I was feeling, a little bit confident for the season.
No, I think you're right. And then it was...
Then you were back in Europe, Pete.
Yeah, then it was the Bordeaux.
And then you were Bordeaux.
And, BL Barry scored a hat-trick. To a certain extent, gifted to him.
Yeah.
But it was, I this is why we want to be in that top table, because you want to see players like that. Jalibert ran the show, really, didn't he? And BL Barry just showed if you give him literally a millimetre, he'll take 2 kilometres. Although the best moment of that was when he kicked one through and booted it so hard it didn't even bounce before it hit the Attio. And we all laughed at him, didn't we? And a bit harsh. But so he is human. And, in hindsight, that wasn't a bad result, really, 15-27.
I think we all agree we played well in that game.
That was a spirited display. I mean, I thought we held our own. And I think you're absolutely right. Against the defending champions, we were proud of Bristol that night. Yeah. But, all that French class eventually sort of came through and did enough, didn't it?
It got us into the... we came second in the end in the group behind Bordeaux. And, and it got us into the round of 16. And our reward... for winning 3 out of 4 games was to get Toulouse.
Get to Toulouse
away. But anyway,
we did have a good sing song with Bordeaux fans.
Their fans were
after the game, didn't we?
Bloody brilliant, weren't they?
And they were superb, and they continued to be superb, didn't they, for the rest of that campaign?
They did.
Their home ground, and then when they played Bath, and it was just. I just think we just hope that we could get Bordeaux away at another juncture in time and make sure we go, because they were very welcome. I can't imagine that it would be anything but amazing going away at Bordeaux. And apparently, Toulouse was as well.
Yeah.
But Bordeaux particularly, I feel like they got a soft spot for Bristol. Bordeaux.
I think they respected us for that scoreline.
I think we're actually twinned with Bordeaux anyway.
We are. Bristol's twinned with Bordeaux.
So there is a connection.
Yeah.
And then actually, a couple of my mates, Tommy Trenchard, one of my mates from cricket, he goes away with his rugby mates for a weekend to Bordeaux.
Oh, really?
Just to go...
What, just see a top 14 match?
Because of that connection.
Do you know what? Actually, we
have a weekend away. We should do that.
It's like our Rob from Roast Beef podcast. They just go away and do a weekend of the...
We could do
second,
it.
We should do, actually. Because, the flights are Friday. It's a Friday flight. And you can come back Sunday night.
Well, we could pick
that's perfect.
Could pick a French team that's just quite easy to get to.
Well, and that's
like Paris.
Yeah. No, I like Bordeaux. I think we should go. And then we know the guy, Sylvain, I think was the guy. He's on the Facebook page. Yeah. We could get in touch with them.
Yeah.
And we could take some flags with us.
And show them how to drink.
Come see a Pro Day game same weekend.
Well, I could. Yeah. And if anyone's out there fancies, we could have a Bearsby on the Gate trip, couldn't we?
Yeah. We do a pod from abroad.
Yeah, we'll get the...
seriously, that's an option.
What we need to do, beginning of the season, when the fixtures all come out, we need to try and identify I'd say before it gets too cold in the winter, it'd be quite nice to get an early boost. Even if we're talking half term, maybe anyway, well, something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah,
something to think about beginning of next season. Yeah. So anyway, back on the Prem trail, we had one more game before the long Six Nations break. And this was one that me and Miles went to. It was a away game at Sandy Park. And, we thought it's going to be a tough assignment. And then we looked at the weather forecast the day before.
Bloody tougher.
We thought it's a tough assignment just to get there.
There were floods. We were lucky to get to Sandy Park, weren't there? Horrendous weather. Floods all around the ground.
We won 8-3. And
8-3.
Incredible. We just played those conditions slightly better than Exeter. I think they tried to play. They just got it wrong, and in the end, it was like who'd make the mistake, and they made the mistake. We defended like lions.
I mean, you're right. I mean, there was only one try in the whole match from Hewitt. There was, grit, character, and physicality, and that's all that was needed on that day. I mean, the conditions were so appalling. I mean, the Exeter fans were brilliant, weren't they? We were in the sort of standing side on. And it was a great venue.
It was 5-3 at half time, and then Jimmy Williams had a penalty, 79 minutes, slotted it, 8-3, job done.
150 tackles. We needed to put in.
What was good about that is that when we were defending a lot in the second half on our line, but because of the nature of the pitch being quite wet, when people like big Pedro's going in, they were literally pushing the whole ruck was sliding backwards. They were that strong. So.
I mean, you're right. I think that at that point we felt like we'd turned the corner in the defence. Genuinely.
I thought we got this.
The defence and resilience on that game was just on another level.
I think we had about 3 or 4 weeks where we were saying how good the defence had been.
But little did we know, based on that was going to be Pedro Rubiolo's last game of the season, and therein lies a story.
That's definitely one of the turning points. Of the down.
And then we had Six Nations. We had our little Prem Cup block, which basically meant nothing. He gave some of the younger lads a hit out. We went to a couple of the games at home. It was quite, there was
nothing for 2 months, was there?
28th of Feb. We lost to Sale 41-36 at home. That was probably a lively game. We lost to Bath 33-24 away. 7th of Feb, we lost to Chiefs 35-46, and then we lost to Gloucester 8-16. So it wasn't really. No one had really
a bit of a humbling campaign,
but a few players got it. It afforded people like Gabsy Bitoye a little bit of a chance to come back from injury, run out a bit. But anyway, we soon forgot about that, and then we came back from the Six Nations, so we're on
22nd of March
to find out that, or be told that Pedro Rubiolo had an ACL, and we're like, well, how did that happen then? Like they never ever said what it was. It must have been in training, ground accident, but no one said anything. It was just announced that he had surgery, and I think then I just thought, ooh, important.
I don't think we realised quite as important. I mean,
no.
And then it really did start going downhill quick, didn't it?
And we then had a game at Leicester, and I mean, we lost 33-19. It was 17-12 at half time, and we were 20-19 down after 53 minutes, and we got nothing from the game. And it's just one of those games where I think we acquitted ourselves relatively well, actually thinking, okay, it's not so bad, but then the disappointment to get nothing from a game where you actually play quite well. I don't know.
You're right, because it was 4 tries to 3. That scoreline doesn't represent really, but I think Billy Searle was on fire with a lot of penalties. I seem to remember.
Fitzharding scored 2 tries, a brace, another brace.
Yeah, and like you say, it was a game really that was the flip of the season.
Yeah, and then they scored again on like the 81st minute, didn't they, to absolutely deny us of anything at all.
So, it was Haber Webb, didn't he?
Yes.
And that took away the losing bonus, and we only scored 3 tries. That one, I remember thinking at the time, I thought we played all right, and I think we looked like a proper side that, we knew what we were doing, and we were just a bit unlucky. And then, of course, leading into our big game out, with a bit, I mean, I thought, okay, we lost that game, but hey, we got Quins in Cardiff, everything's set up. We've got to deal with the Philharmonic.
The sun even came out.
The sun's come out.
A bit cold, but the sun came out.
I thought, I don't care. I've spent nearly 250 quid on hotel rooms and £8 pints.
Hello, where was he staying?
Well, Premier Inn, 2 nights. Not bloody cheap, is it?
No.
And, I was thinking, you know what? I'm sure that investment that I've put in for a home game
will yield
like a great result.
Dividend.
Of course, well, we don't need to go into it too more. We all know. We were 7-5 up, so we were actually winning a dire game at half time, and it was dire.
Yeah,
it was dire. There was no cohesion.
You can't butter up anything exciting about that
game.
And
then, despite that, we still ended up losing by giving away a penalty. I mean, they scored a penalty on 78 minutes. It was Benson. So the worst way to lose a game that you should have won, you should have wrapped it up. And I mean, we talked about it at the time. I mean, fair play to Quins. Ironically, it was one of their better games. And they stepped up and they They had something to prove, didn't they? And they proved
they
it.
had. I mean, there was almost like, I think, injuries. It was almost their second string team, wasn't it? But Don Brandt, they had key players. Don Brandt turned up. Isgro had a great game as well.
Caden Murley played outside centre for the first time ever, and looked like he was
playing there all his
life. So Benson, good player. Anyway.
I mean, nothing was right. If you look at the stats, we had 60% possession, 61% territory, 609 metres versus our 314. Nothing of those stats suggested we should have lost, but
I feel sorry for?
Yeah.
The
crowd.
The flag bearers, the ones that have been employed.
That was the first time we saw the great Big Bears flag, didn't we?
Well, we barely saw it because I think we saw it 7 minutes hardy. I missed it. And then Steve Luatua scored. Well, see, Steve, looking at this, Steve Luatua scored on 76, and we got the conversion to be in the lead because we weren't. We were one behind. Hang on,
one behind.
We were still behind, weren't we?
There were no cheery moments about that game, mate.
There was no cheery moments.
I mean, the bit of a tick. It was the second big day out in a year. 45,000 crowd, less than last year.
Is there a big tick though?
All right. Not for me.
Not really.
I actually don't think...
But, I guess the only tick was...
You bigged it up so much. I turned up and then it was the biggest letdown of our season.
I mean, there was 45,000.
On the plus side, the women won in the morning.
Yeah.
The downside was that not many people turned up because there was this ridiculous system where you couldn't go out between the games, and that was a great shame.
That needs to be sorted out.
And the tick was, there was a lot of good stuff before the game. It was a good atmosphere before, but you can't... It was just...
But it has to result in Bristol winning.
Yeah, I mean, I know people say, well, you can't guarantee that in sport, but I think you just have to. And, the fact that Bernard didn't start, did he? It's like, did we put out a team that was on it and ready to win that game? And I'm not sure we did.
I think we took him for granted, and it didn't pay off.
I think that's a great shame. I agree.
And then then on the back of that, the next thing we had to look forward to was a away game at Toulouse.
Well, that'd be easy, wouldn't it, you think?
And to be honest, we all knew the reality was it was a big ask. But then I remember us being quite bullish beforehand, saying, you know what, but we played all right against Bordeaux. We could, if we get stuck in... And
we suggested that they would be a little bit scared of us based on our Bordeaux performance, didn't we?
We identified that Rob from Roast Beef Rugby had identified that there's a few weak links, that possibly Dip or Tear or whatever it was. Or no, it wasn't. It was someone else in the middle. Lo and behold, 4 minutes, we go straight through the middle. Fitzharding scores. And I'm thinking, blooming hell, I was watching it
7-0 up, weren't we?
I was thinking, blooming hell, 7-0.
Yeah.
We're on. And then they scored 40 points, unanswered points. How could that happen? And we threw it away again. It was one where we had a loose... I won't mention it. Well, we made a bad decision with a tap and go penalty, and then a loose pass, let them score.
Yeah.
We then we made it. We gifted them those tries. I remember we did.
Yeah, we did.
And it's like, why would you do that?
I mean, I don't think we would have won the game, but I think the scoreline would have been closer.
You would have been closer at half time, but then you get in at half time, you have a bit of a team talk, you have a bit of analysis. But when you're 47 down at half time, it's almost irrelevant what your half time. But if you're like 26-7 down, and they point out a few things,
and you scored the first try,
and you scored the first try, you're potentially back in the game. And we did. We played well in the second half. And people with rose-tinted spectacles will say we had a great second half. We scored 3 more tries. It's like, but
they too late.
It didn't mean anything.
No, too little, too late. I mean, I think you're right. I think the occasion was great. I mean, fans and followers of the pod reported it as an amazing fan experience. Excellent trip. Hospitality was great. Yeah. The French fans were fantastic. We got the flaggage was just all over the place, wasn't it? John Wood. We had Bears players holding the flag, which is absolutely brilliant.
Agent John Wood. Enemy lines.
My worry is, imagine if that flag had gone after April, where it would need retina scan, thumbprint. Would never got through customs, would it? So good job it was early April.
We should have just a pause for the moment for the flag, because it's been quite a lot of places in the last 2 years, and we've still got it.
You know what? I was chatting to one of our listeners down at the game a couple of weeks ago, and I said, a bit like when your kids used to get a little like sew-on badge on their blanket for sort of guides, etc. I think we need a country flag every time it goes abroad.
Yeah, just to
not a bad idea.
like a stamp,
Like a passport
Like a little
stamp.
passport stamp.
While we're at it, let's think about it. It went to Glastonbury, which is a bit like going abroad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like most of the UK, is it?
Yeah,
No.
that's very true.
Australia?
It went to Australia for the Lions.
Yeah.
It went to Thailand. It went to Wales
Yeah,
for Gleneffley.
Been to France.
It's been to France.
yeah.
I mean, its international credentials are just phenomenal.
It nearly went to New Zealand.
It
But
nearly
obviously
went
we
to
couldn't
New
tie
Zealand.
in with Nick Howell,
No.
could we, to get...
No, because we wanted it to go to France, really, in
Yeah.
the end.
I'm thinking espionage is going to get a call up for MI5 soon, isn't it?
It's been to the Shed, and that's like going abroad, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Shed and Glastonbury are two places that
That definitely is a
You
foreign
need your
country.
body armour to go there.
So it's done well. The flag. I mean,
It has.
I think the flag's. It wonder what it's looking forward to next year.
A brother or a sister?
Well, maybe
Upgrade?
maybe we need a flag that's so big it has a pole. A telescopic one, so we can hide it in our backpack
Definitely.
when we go in. But a pole flag is
Like
what
I think we
need.
might find that the
Bordeaux
flag's got a bigger brother next season that he didn't realise was there.
Didn't know he had.
Maybe that could be our
It was an
crowdfunding
adopted
summer.
big brother.
We could make an annual summer crowdfunding sort of thing, and this year we're going to crowdfund for one of those flags, that covers the whole of the atio, and you at the beginning of the game, and everyone's passing it forward.
Oh yeah.
So you pass it forward
You know
down
what?
to the front,
That is a good shout.
because you could get all the students in the. They'd be up for it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But then you don't want to jar people off, do you?
No.
If it's in people's eyes and they're trying
Oh,
to
no,
watch
but
the
they
game
got-
and they
yeah,
look
but
around
they-
and see Beresby on the gate.
Yeah, but
We're in enough trouble already with a lot of people, Pete.
Anyway,
Anyway, that
So
was
anyway,
Toulouse, and
that
we
was
were out of
Toulouse.
Europe.
And we did.
and we're out of Europe.
Out of Europe.
But one of the positives of being out of Europe is we can now really focus
on the Prem.
Prem, and
You're right.
At this
we had,
point, we got, 6 games left?
yeah, we had our eyes on definitely on playoffs, and having thought
absolutely.
last year we got in the playoffs, and in the first 20 minutes against Bath, we looked like we were doing well. Anyway, so
And
then
we had 2 relatively straightforward games, didn't we?
Yeah, Gloucester at home, didn't we, next?
53-12, and very good win, and then Newcastle away, we 52-19. There was no kind of hangover from that Christmas one. It was like get down to business.
I mean, that's 2 games, 50-plus points back to back. Things were looking very positive at that point.
And at that point, we're in the hunt. We're kind of in 4th then, aren't we? And we
We are.
And then the only sort of literally dark cloud on the fucking horizon.
Oh, you're going to say
coming towards us.
not more
Saracens.
Oh,
And at that point, they're not even really in the equation, are they?
No. But we were thinking, though, what better time to play them in some degree, that if we beat them, then that's actually put them right out of the picture.
but do you remember off the back of that Newcastle, we had more injury woes?
We did, didn't
That
we?
was a downside, didn't we?
Pat called it out. Pat called the pitch out, didn't he, on TNT, and Austin Healey backed him up on it. And
O'Grey, Lane, Grondola, all in one match.
It was,
and then, it was I think it was our record win at Kingston Park, wasn't it? And back up, as I said, back up to 4th.
and obviously by then we'd lost Matter as well.
Yeah.
Earlier on in the season,
of
I'd
course.
forgotten. We lost him after that Leicester game early on.
Yeah,
So
all of a sudden you've got like really key personnel out at the worst time possible.
But even so, I mean, I 26-41, we were losing 21-34 at half time, so we were still kind of in the hunt. It was just, we were there. It was just disappointing. It just had an inevitability about it in the end, didn't it?
And another inevitable Sarries loss, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, we got the only good thing, we did get a try bonus point out of it, so we kept ourselves a little bit in it. And then we knew
did say, how many games is that now? 10?
Yeah.
We've lost on the trot.
10
to
on,
Sarries.
yeah,
10.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disgraceful.
Yeah. And then, that we were, I think that there was a general feeling of disappointment, even like within the squad as well. I reckon they felt disappointed. And then,
because I think, funny enough, we were chatting about the importance of that game and where we were in the table, and Sarries were creeping up, weren't they? And, I think we called it out saying this is a game when the boys need to step up and get a win. And I think it was just doubly disappointing that
it's
we
a
just
home game. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. You've got to win your home games,
especially when you look at the fixtures and think, okay, we got Saints away, who are now on fire.
Yeah,
so that is going to be a tough game. We can't really. So we've got to win the home game.
the drawbridge is just they weren't pulled up, were they?
No, and we were hoping that Saints would be already safe, so that they would maybe possibly rest a few players. And
I think you're right. We did. I think as fans, we thought we'd target that Sarries game, try and guarantee a home win, but stats just continue not to be on our side.
That was
disappointing.
That was the defence issue, wasn't it? They had about 4 line breaks. And
yep.
Just where it all gone wrong, where we'd been so solid at Exeter and we'd been solid over Christmas, and it was just weird. I don't know. Anyway, and that obviously led us on to the Northampton Saints game, which we just won't mention.
No.
I mean, and I do actually.
We just not mention the run-in.
Well, I think it mentioned the fact that we got a bonus point by
a lot of moaning about that, though, wasn't there?
It's a bit harsh, wasn't it? I quite like that idea of you only get a bonus point if you're within the same number, sort of 3 tries behind. That's what French do.
Yeah.
So if they score 9 and you score 6, you get a bonus point. But if they score, so I
ultimately it was irrelevant, wasn't it? But I get some disquiet about that. It's like, how can Bristol get a point for being absolutely slaughtered?
It was kind of embarrassing that in TNT they were actually being a bit sympathetic and saying, well, we don't really want them to score 100, do we? Like the pity. I didn't want it.
No, I don't ever want to see any of that again.
No. I mean, that's not good for rugby. Certainly not good for the Premiership. I mean, there've been some atrocious scorelines this season. And it doesn't sit right, does it?
Well, as supporters, if the boot would have been on the other foot, we'd have still said the same thing, because we don't want to be smashing someone by 100 points, because it's not good for the whole outlook, is it?
No, not at all.
The irony of ironies, although we kind of then are out mathematically, it was going to be very difficult, but we still got win. We had Bath at home.
Yeah.
And I mean, the irony of it all is that we have this record that, like Saracens, we never beat them. But like Bath, we always do at Ashton Gate. Like, unbelievably, in the whole of Pat's era, never lost at Ashton Gate in a Prem game. And I think that was the one year I was thinking, I don't know about this. This could be the time. And it's going to be quite toxic.
Yeah.
Because that's the one shred of, hope that we've got. And then we go and beat them 21-19, and they don't score in the second half. And it was a great occasion. We were a bit loose in the first half, but Harding scored again, penalty try. Oh, on that note, that reminded me, we were a bit critical of Randall. Didn't we? No, did we deal with this in the last pod? Mark Johnson.
Actually, I'm glad you brought it. I don't think we did mention it.
No, so we were a bit critical of Randall, saying it wasn't a very good pass, and Lewis Rees-Sammet wouldn't have caught it anyway. But we should have known that, Miles, because we were there. Unbeknownst to us that we were playing under penalty advantage, so Randall did kind of and if it had come off, and he'll say, "Well, it did, boys. I got us a penalty try, so I can't believe you were critical of me at all."
Fair enough.
And fair enough on that one. So apologies, Mark Johnson. He's always a big supporter of us, but he's a very astute student of the game, and he kind of he gave us that feedback in a very positive and diplomatic manner.
He did,
but I felt as though it was
we absolutely we appreciate that.
And I mean, I didn't even notice that in the heat of the game. I thought, because we were pushing the line, I didn't even see Dicko's hand go out. But anyway, Mark, sorry about that. And I think he knows that we're not full experts, right? And then, of course, that was the end. But after that, then it was all over. Went to Sale, and then Sale.
That's irrelevant.
I mean, the irony of that one is that we put out a 23 English qualified. And I mean, we love the club, but the spin that they put on that, it was like we're proud that we managed to put out an English club. It's like you're proud of the fact you got something wrong. Yeah. You're proud of the fact that over the season we couldn't do a basic tenet. We avoided
basic math.
We should say, what was it, 250?
250k fine, supposedly.
Yeah, fair play for avoiding it, but to make it sound like it was our biggest achievement of the year.
Ridiculous.
It was absolutely ludicrous. And you know what? Okay, let's play devil's advocate. The club will say, because of our injury crisis, we had no choice but to play international players. You know what I mean by that. Yeah. Not English qualified players, more than we would have liked. But the caveat is, we haven't got a big enough squad to be able to do that. So that's a bit of nonsense.
Yeah. Was there any other
we could have played?
Worrying about it?
No.
So it was good in the sense that it gave a bit of opportunity for some.
And actually, the scoreline was quite respectable for the sort of youngsters that we pull out, didn't we? I think they played, played some well.
So, had quite a strong squad, eh?
No, there was a lot of positives from that. And actually, that should have been the positives, really.
Yeah.
And actually, it was. They did say the boys.
They did. I think they played well.
I got something to tell you, though, boys.
Yeah.
Right? Next season, we're going to have to get used to this.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a small squad again next year.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get onto this in a minute, Pete.
Yeah.
But we're going to just have to open pray that a lot of these youngsters are ready to step up next year. Because otherwise, we are in deep doo-doo.
I mean, having said that, if I was going to be, again, devil's advocating, we did. Kofi Cripps got injured, didn't he? And Paddy Pierce got. We lost a couple of injuries to those the next men up boys as well.
That's true.
It is tricky, but it does. The point is, if you got your squad should cover that really. But anyway, let's move on.
And we've signed. We'll talk about this. We've signed some all English qualified players, haven't we?
So upshot was we're 6. So what I thought we're going to do, we're going to talk about what this means. But before that, let's quickly go through. We were going to go through some of our awards. We got 6 awards. We got best player who wasn't Fitzharding. All right. We've got unsung hero. We've got the hardest grafter. We've got the best breakthrough player. We've got the least injured player. We've got the best game that we enjoyed, and we've got the best "it's the hope that kills you" game. In other words, the worst game. So, best player that wasn't Fitzharding. Lee, you're supposed to have thought about this before you come.
Right. I mean, this is difficult because I'm going to actually give this to someone who was injured for probably half the season.
Yep.
For me, Pedro, when he plays,
good shout.
He is absolute dynamite, and I know it is kind of semi-ridiculous to choose someone who's been out that injured, but he was that great before injury.
But it's when you know how good someone is when they're not there as well, and that's one of the reasons, isn't it?
That's it.
Brilliant shout.
And when they play so well when they're there that you give them a shout for half a season. That's how good he was.
So we're only allowed one nomination, so you've got to think of someone else, Miles, that's not Pedro, even if you agree with him. Another option
that's not Fitz. Does it matter how long they played the season?
No.
Well,
full open criteria.
Bernard.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah,
I think apart from
being England international.
Well, absolutely. I mean, apart from missing probably half a game from getting his face nearly smashed off, I think it was absolutely unsung hero, phenomenal, man of the match many a time. Cliches galore. Yep. What we love about him.
Well, similar for me. I it's difficult. But I was going to Gabs Ogre.
Yeah,
up to his injury,
really good shout.
I don't think he did anything wrong, and he was top of the stats. And great player.
Another player that a great player, nearly to play for, not chosen for England A's.
So between us, we've gone Fitz, obviously. Everyone, but
well,
you've got Pedro.
Fitz has won every award this season.
Yeah, of course.
Ogre and Bernard,
and also, I mean. In dispatches, we should mention Noah Hewitt if we're talking unsung heroes.
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
We haven't done that. Oh, easy.
Unsung hero.
Moved on.
We got a bloody category for it. Right. Number 2, unsung hero. Lee.
Lee, who's yours?
I'll have Noah Hewitt, please.
and why?
And
Give us your justification.
Just because the main thing for me, I think he's brilliant attacking wise. I think this season he scored one of the. I can't remember who it was against, but it might have been in that ball.
It was in Pretoria.
Yeah.
Superman try.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. Right. He's great going forward, but what I love about him is that defensively, he really solidifies our defense. And unsung hero for me, Noah Hewitt.
Brilliant.
I mean that try was one of the best tries of the season. Yeah. He had so much sun block on. I don't think he'd even see the try line, could he?
But that's why they couldn't tackle him, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's as slippery as an eel.
Right, Miles, your unsung hero?
Mine is a late incomer. He's like a fine aged wine or whiskey. That's Matthias Moroni.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Never got man of the match, I pretty much think. But the minutes he put on the pitch, the tries, the assists, were just out of this century.
And he got... To just we didn't mention this in the Gloucester game, but he came in to start or come on the bench on that Gloucester game at Kingsholm. He'd literally flew in on the Monday or Tuesday, didn't he? On the red eyes.
You saw him, didn't you?
And he played, and I saw him after the game, and I said, well, Frank, that's good fun. What do you think about that? And he goes, I'm fucked.
His English was good, wasn't it?
He knew his English. I don't know what I was more impressed with, his energy levels to get through the game or his command of the correct word to use, and apologies for those people.
Yeah, I mean, for his age and experience, he just showed his class and stepped up.
Well,
great shout.
It's in a way he had no contract.
No.
And then he suddenly gets a contract. Then he got picked for Barbarians by Pat, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he got extended contract. And then he played in loads of big games.
Exactly.
So I think it's a great shout, Miles.
Pete, what about yours?
So my unsung hero is a bit of an odd one because he's been a hero already, and I think his hero status diminished somewhat because we didn't see him much. That's Harry Thacker. And the reason he's an unsung hero is because he came back at the end of the season after Ogre was injured and played as well as any time he's played, and he's just such a good player. So I feel like he's an unsung hero because he's kept that quality despite not, losing his position. So thanks. And also just being here for team player.
Yeah, I agree.
Being here for, just an interesting guy as well, he's not boring. He's like an interesting guy. He's got, his hair cut, he's short. He can play flanker because he played flanker in the last game.
He did, didn't he?
Open side. I just think he's everything about what rugby is about, really. So fair play. Brilliant. Okay, next one is hardest grafter. So it's hard for us to judge that, really, because in a way I suddenly thought, is that a really good category? Because we like to think they all try hard, don't they? But what do you think, Lee? Because you were the one who suggested it.
I did, yeah. I mean, I was probably about 6-7 points in when I suggested that one. But hardest grafter, I think for me it's got to be Genji.
Yeah, and he does put his heart and soul in.
Like you just said, I don't think he grafts any more than anyone else in the team. But I think sometimes there was games this season.
Yeah.
When we needed someone to take it by the scruff of the neck, and Genji was that player, inevitably, more than most.
What about you, Mark?
I can't add to that, I'm afraid. I haven't thought much about that category.
I think we should give Dunny a little shout as well, because Dunny had a bad injury, came back, and then signed for Quins quite early on. But despite that, we did say that we need it. We may need him, and we did. We needed him in the run-in.
Can we give him a subcategory? Most colourful scrum caps across the season. Most change-in coloured scrum caps.
And the only player that definitely got criticised by us for having the wrong colour and then changed it the week after based on us telling him to.
There we are. That's a category in itself. Boom.
Yeah. No, Dunny, I mean, it's a good opportunity just to say, because he's admitted to us that his job is to smash rucks, to tackle,
absolutely.
and that's when you know that that's your job, and you've got all these fancy Dans around you, and even like Kloska and Genji passing it through the hands, and Pat's like, no, Dunny, no.
It's quite ironic, isn't it?
It is.
That Pat loves versatile players, and yet Dunny and Bats are probably the two.
Yeah,
and Matter.
There we are. So we could give those a combined category award. Bats and Dunny, the ones grafters.
I think
all
And you're right. I mean, Matter took a lot of contact, didn't he, before he got injured?
He did,
and I think surpassed our expectations of him.
I'll hold my hands up. I thought maybe he was just a little bit over the edge wise, and we missed him hugely.
Okay, best breakthrough player. Someone we weren't expecting to see, but saw quite a lot of, maybe.
I mean, he has been on the periphery, I should say.
On the edge.
On the edge. On the rim.
Like us.
Just,
He's been rimming it.
Flying by the seat of their pants, unlike us. Joe Owen, for me.
Yeah.
Joe Owen. I think he's... And I do genuinely feel he's going to be a big, potentially international quality player.
He got his England A call up.
He did.
He's played England A. He's brilliant.
And a lovely lad as well to boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's hanging around. So that's great to see next season.
Yeah. I think he's under contract. He hasn't got any choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's just, he's like a stallion on the wing, isn't he? And he's just, a force into himself.
What about you, Miles?
Best breakthrough. Yeah, I think we chatted about this pre-pod. We saw him late in the season, and I think that I'm going to give it to George Taylor. Yeah. Absolutely stepped up in the strapping lad. Went off, did a little bit of study, come back in, and he's played phenomenally and stepped up in the last 3, 4, 5 games.
I mean, I think I might have said this. I mean, I know his dad a little bit, and in fact was at Bath Races with his dad yesterday. But George had a long injury layoff. Long injury. And he came back halfway through the season. First game was in the Prem Cup game at Exeter away before Christmas. And he was blowing. I was watching that game, and then within about 20 minutes, he was blowing. And I think he'd forgotten what the intensity of rugby, even at Prem Cup level, was. But he has worked his way back in. And I mean, I think, he played a full 80 against Sale. He's been in the 23 for some of the big games.
Yes.
He's a big unit. And with Dunny going, I mean, you're looking at
he's a keeper.
Bats, Pedro. Right. Joe Owen is more of a hybrid.
He is.
And actually, George can be a 6 as well. But I think you're looking at Joe Owen and George are the
bit
next...
bulkier, isn't he? I think he's got
and he's obviously he's an intelligent guy as well. So I think it's a big season for him. And he was academy, and I assume he might, let's hope that he's been kind of given a bit of an incentive to try.
So. Yeah.
So big, I think breakthrough, but also next season could be a big season for Big George. And let's just fingers crossed he don't get injured. So my one, I'm going to go Aidan Boshoff. He didn't play as much as I hoped, but I went to that Saracens game when we got humped, and he was the one positive thing. He looked up for it, and I think I told you this story at the time, is that after the game, I was stood next to his mum and his girlfriend or whatever, and he was like saying, "Oh yeah, Owen Farrell was trying to have a fight with me," and I thought, it was like a starstruck that he managed to rile Owen Farrell, and I thought, fair play. And an unfashionable, it's not really a mullet he's got kind of like flowing locks. It's not, and just to kind of, he just loved the cut of he's a total cut of his jib man.
I agree.
He's a jibman.
He's got good calves.
So
the ladies like a good calf, don't they?
Sam Worsley as well in dispatches, because I'm not quite sure, and other people may know this, what happened, because I think we missed him in the second half of the season.
I think that we went for the more established player.
I think you're right.
And I do genuinely think that it potentially could have,
we saw that. The more games he played, the more confidence he gave. He lit the part, didn't he?
But he will. I'm
and he
sure.
didn't do anything wrong. That's the thing.
No.
I mean, he wasn't injured. He was playing for Dings, wasn't he? So we know. And then, I mean, the other person I want to mention is more of a future best breakthrough. Is actually, I've suddenly thought of someone else which I should have mentioned. I think we've got to get. Actually, no. We'll come back to the next category. Right. Thomas Gwilliam. You see, I think I like the look of him as well. He's going to be
his jib.
He's going to be the third hooker next year. Yeah. He's been and he looks class. And that's my tip for the next. If Thax kind
he
of
has
retires,
had to come on, and he's not really done anything wrong, has he?
And he looks solid, and he just looks the part. He looks like a good hooker.
I mean, I don't know how long Thacker's contract's up for now.
But Williams obviously
for a long time, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Okay, bit of a joke category, but not really. But
funniest name?
No, least injured player. Who wasn't injured?
Yeah. Least injured.
Who was our least injured?
Well, we know this, don't we?
Who's our healthiest player, we should say.
I mean, I think apart from maybe 10 minutes off, it's got to be Bernard, hasn't it?
And he did. He broke a cheekbone as well, didn't he?
We didn't. Because Pat said he's literally like a man of steel.
Yeah. No, he said that was when he got his mix. He said he's steel, he's granite, and he's cement at the same time. It's like,
which is he?
Which is he? I mean, there's three.
Animal, mineral.
He shouldn't have used cement. It should have been epoxy resin, surely.
It should have been. But
he's got to be. And now he's like stepping up for England. Yeah. He's just literally a machine.
I know we're not allowed to pick the same players, but I think really on that category, I think we have to agree. There's
no one else is there.
Well, Fitz. I think we should mention Fitz as well.
Fitz has got all these awards already, hasn't he?
No, but I think that the least injured. I mean, he broke his hand and carried on playing against Bath.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I mean, that should go in the hardest bastard category, really.
That is in that. Yeah, and as Joe Joyce, when we interviewed him, and he did say when I asked him who's the hardest player, and he said this, that you'll find this a bit weird, but it's Fitz Harding because he's relentless and he's fair, and he is relentless.
He is,
yeah.
And he was top of all the stats. He was top of the turnovers, wasn't he? He was third in tackles made. It's like, and there was no one else from the back row.
No, of course, and he's in like top, English Prem,
and he got in the Prem team.
He's got the Prem team in the season.
Well, we had 3 players in the Prem team, didn't we?
Genji.
Which I thought was brilliant for a team that finishes 6th.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. That's what
and for the captain to finish best 7.
Was it Genji, Bernard, Fitz?
Fitz.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely great.
And your captain he's not just a player; he's a captain as well. All that responsibility he's had all season.
I mean, we know we bang the England drum, don't we? You cannot keep ignoring this player.
No,
and I feel a bit sad for him because I reckon they've got this training game, haven't they, against France? And I reckon he definitely would have been in for that if he hadn't broken his hand.
Yeah.
So who knows? He might. Who knows? And come the autumn, when he'll still be. He's knocking on that door. Probably not this summer, but if there's a few injuries or we don't go well in the first three nation games,
he's first backup. Isn't he?
He's definitely a
change of coach eventually. Yeah.
Although he did, anyway, right, and then finally, 2 more best game. So we've had ups and downs, haven't we? But we do enjoy, when it goes well, it goes bloody well.
Flicking through the notes.
When it goes bad, it goes bad. But when it goes well, it goes well. So what do you all personally think your favourite game this season was?
Well, mine was easy. It's a game that ultimately had no meaning whatsoever, but it was against Bulls in Pretoria, and what a performance, as we've already covered.
Brilliant. No, that's fair enough. Miles?
That's a good shout.
I think Miles is going to see Chiefs away.
In
the flood.
Well, that was different. I mean, I don't know. You're right. Stats were on our side. However, when it came to the crunch, we did one on those down the road.
Yep.
Bath at home.
Yep. That's a good shout.
We needed the win, and we got the win.
And it was good fun at the ground, wasn't it? It was a good atmosphere, and it was good fun. So
absolutely,
I think that's a good one. So I've got to pick a different one, which is tricky, because I missed a couple, didn't I? When I was looking, I got to go Gloucester away. Because
you're right. After last season, that's a good shout.
Because
we were schooled, weren't we? Remember last year?
And the flag, and I just love getting booed by all the chef when I held the flag up. And we played well. It was just a fun game to watch. And an away game like that. And I'm sure anyone who went to the Twickenham game would probably say the same and say that was probably a good one, but none of us went there, so we can't really call that one. So brilliant.
The Redemption Derby.
So, and then the final category we've got, there's one last, was, in a way, it's like the worst game of the season. I've called it the best, it's the hope that kills you game.
Okay.
In other words, what was the most disappointing? I finished on a negative, haven't I?
I know.
What was the most disappointing?
Well, I'll be amazed if we have the same different answers.
I know. I was going to say I'm going first because I'm pretty sure Miles is going to pick this one.
Go on.
The Big Day Out.
Yeah.
The Big Day Out was a brilliant day out.
Yeah.
But as a game was shocking and disappointing in the way that I didn't think any of us thought we wouldn't get anything but 5 points from that game, and that ultimately, I mean, there's kind of you can have a different opinion on where we did lose it eventually, but that really didn't help a bit.
Yeah,
I guess. Well, yeah, I mean the most.
If you can't pick the Big Day Out, what else?
Well, that Northampton away,
because it was embarrassing.
It was an embarrassment. That was the most embarrassing game of the season. The Big Day Out was my. To be fair, I was more disappointed at Big Day Out. There was a great day out. The fact that we lost to a sort of undercooked Quins team. But yeah, the most embarrassing game of the season has to be nearly getting 100 points put on us away at Saints. Yeah. I'm not denying the fact that after the game the week before, no team would have gone there and won. They were absolutely on fire, had a point to prove, but that was not good for Bristol, not good for rugby or the Premiership. It was just an embarrassment.
I mean, I agree with both of you, but because I've got to do something different, I'll probably say that the Bath away game, just because I went to that and
point.
It was, and we scored early and we scored again, and we were in that game, and it was disappointing in the sense that there was a chance that I didn't really think we were going to win it. I've got to say, in the second half, I felt the momentum swung with them a bit, but it was an opportunity where it doesn't come around that often now to beat them at the Rec. So it wasn't really the same level as yours, but I felt
there was a little caveat. Do you remember though? They also had 2 tries disallowed.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
So that's...
And also, what was good about that game was I did the post article, didn't I? And then I said the atmosphere at the Rec is nothing like the atmosphere at Kingsholm, and I got absolutely lambasted by.
Yeah,
but even like
that.
Tom Davenant was like having to defend me online. He's like, and there was one guy I was.
Was it bad weather? Were you alluding to like?
No, I just said it was just because it's got no. It's because the sound doesn't stay in. I was making a point that it's a good ground.
It's like
it's
a park.
Beautiful, but it's like it's not got the same intensity as it
What?
can't. I was making a geographical point and an auditory point rather than a sort of.
But we knew that. Pete.
Yeah,
we
but,
knew
yeah,
that.
we know that.
But I remember It was like.
Do you know we know that because we'll never pay to go there.
I think it was Rich Knight or something, and he said they were like absolutely pelting, like because they obviously read the post. And fair play. A couple of people stood up for me, and my mate Nick Price from cricket did, and got absolutely lambasted by his own fans.
Well, listen, the whole point of us doing what we do, whether it's podcasting right now, sat down on a table around a recording studio, or whether what we write for the post is all our opinions.
Yeah, of course it is.
We've never said our opinions are
and
right.
No one has to read them if they don't want to.
No,
that's it.
You're right.
And
if people think they're irrelevant, well, fair play.
Yeah,
they don't have to read it.
But we will carry on to voice and
ruffling a few feathers.
Absolutely,
what we love to do.
Yes.
No, I agree, and yeah, I mean, we do the post because they asked us to do it, and it gives us an opportunity to do something a bit different in our lives. We don't get paid for it, so yeah, our opinions are. And if people don't agree with them, that's absolutely fine. And actually, people are probably right half the time, to be fair, because there's no right answer to anything, is there?
No, it's not.
I'm not saying I didn't get any lambasting when I said about things have got to change.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine, and we'll just carry on doing it. And if we make mistakes, and we have made a couple of mistakes this season, haven't we? We've been lambasted for it, and we've got over it. And we recognise the fact that sometimes you've just got to be careful and just say what you say, but be ready to justify it when the time comes. Anyway, let's move on. Right, so we haven't got any more awards, but I've got one more award. Is an award for the player that should have got an award for something but didn't. What? And I've just thought of that, and that's George Kloska. I was going to say him for breakthrough player, but I think he's had a great season.
I did think about him for breakthrough.
I was trying to think of how we could have. He almost was player of the season, but I just think breakthrough. That's where he should have been.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I just think he's not been injured much either. So he's kind of he's a bit of every award.
He's just I know, but he's just doing the grunt work.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, injury aside, getting into England A and England training squad. He's a little bit under the radar. He's I presume I don't know. He's sort of he's not out there and not sort of he's
a nice guy.
Lovely guy, but not sort of like an out there character with the media. He's just doing the hard graft, and you're absolutely right.
He got an interview in the Telegraph. I think once you get
he did.
You get it shows you're on the radar, and he's not just a grunt merchant as well. He's got nice hands. He's got good feet.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he?
Well, we're hoping, aren't we, that we can get him on the pod
do little
at some point.
He's our number one.
Good mates
we are.
Dunny.
We're going to check he's got nice hands and feet.
Yeah,
in
we'll
the flesh.
Check him out when he's holding a pint of Thatchers.
He'd be a good. I think he's next cab in the rank for us to try and sort out. Maybe at the beginning of the season. We like to do it every now and again.
Maybe get Joycey back.
Yeah, maybe
in a Gloucester.
Well, Joycey was probably happy about it.
Don't wear a Gloucester shirt.
I said sorry.
We can all apologise to him.
Yeah, but I did. I said it, and he was fine about it. And I just said, it was bad. It just happens. Sorry about that. And he was like, no worries, mate. He wasn't really annoyed with us. He was annoyed with what other people said because we hadn't specified the right things, and that is true. And he's right. You've got to know. You've got to be careful about things because other people do take words.
Actually, on that point, I will say sometimes we say something, but actually people use. They kind of like blow it out of proportion, and then our names get kind of used.
But we also have
as almost like the kindling
the experts.
But we also have to recognise that there are more than like two people that listen to this, and sometimes you just have to be careful that we get it right. Let people. Anyway, let's not move. We're moving on.
Move on. We are moving on.
Moving on.
So 6th place.
So this was my last sort of thing. Is like we've gone through the season. It's been quite fun just going through it again.
Yeah.
And hopefully
there've been some highs and lows.
Yeah, there've been some real highs, and we're a team of moments, aren't we? This is the problem.
Yes.
Are we a serious contenders, or are we a team that provides moments?
We're too inconsistent to be serious contenders.
And I think my question now is going to be: we come 6th.
Mm-hmm.
We got roughly the same points as last year, although we got into a playoff last year, but a little bit. is that realistically, now we look back, what we, actually we did quite well to come sixth?
Well,
and that's the first question.
Yeah.
And then the second question is that, but is that good enough? So do you think, Lee, sixth actually, in hindsight now, we've been through the whole season, probably is about, people would say where you finish is where you finish.
Where you deserve to finish.
Where you deserve to finish. I feel like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I feel ultimately disappointed in sixth place. And again, because we've already highlighted the fact that we were far closer to finishing in top four. But ultimately, I think top four would have been, it wouldn't have been justified. I don't think it would have been right if we'd have got there.
Yeah.
But caveats are the injuries. They have made a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the thing. See, we wouldn't have kept all these players in this squad injury-free throughout the season. You're going to get injuries, which is why right at the beginning of the season, when we had Tom Tainton on, we worried about the size of the squad, didn't we? Ultimately, it's come back to bite us on the ass. Getting back to the actual question and finishing sixth, I think it is just about right where we should have finished for this season. But it's not good enough.
Should we accept that? No,
it's not good enough. But I do feel if we don't, Pat Lam's going to be there. We're all agreed on that. There's no way Lansdowne to pay a contract.
Got 2 more years left.
So it's either we're hoping that these youngsters for next season can really step up and come through, which isn't out of the question. I mean, the teams like, say, Chiefs, Saints, they haven't spent lots of money. You know what I mean?
But they're up there.
They're in the final.
The irony is the two finalists are not the biggest spenders.
Yeah.
And so we've been told, the biggest spenders always win it. But what they've done is that they've used their money, probably, they've been a bit luckier maybe, and the money that they have spent has worked on those players. They've got the return the return on their investment, therefore, for whatever reason, has been higher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also partly the return on Saints' investment in their academy. Now, some people will then say, yeah, but they get a massive catchment area and they've got an established academy. And I get that. That is part of it as well. But we also get 20,000 people coming. We are on a par with Northampton in terms of supporters. So there has to be some way of bridging that gap.
Yeah, and if we don't find a way to do it, then I think we'll struggle next season.
And also, Northampton came 8th last season as well. So they've managed to get themselves
step
back
up in a year.
Well, Miles, you made a brilliant point.
You're right. You might. So they've got the same. Phil Dowson, they've got the same coach in Northampton. Remember last season we absolutely smashed them, something like 61 or something like that to 17, and he was staring down the barrel, if you're in the football sort of world, of really losing his job. Now they've turned it around in one season, and there's quite a good little post on X to saying like the teams who have potentially had a really bad season. You remember a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, Bath were nearly at relegation. Tigers weren't doing so well. Northampton, like I've just suggested, Dowson was doing appalling. And within 2 years, something has clicked, something has changed, and Academy has stepped up in the right time, and they're again in the top four.
Well, you say Tigers, haven't they? Tigers won the Prem.
Well, exactly.
But then they got McFarland, whoever it was, and then or McKellen, and did really badly.
Yeah, they
got rid of him. Then they got
Parling.
Checker in. No, they got Michael Checker last season. Did all right, and then they got Parling in. So,
and we've got consistency for the last 10 years, and we progressively, you cannot deny this, move.
Well,
down,
you say that,
down,
but people,
down?
hang on. We did get to the playoffs last season, so you can't say we've gone down.
No, but my kind of, I don't know. Pat's been there a long time, right? Motivational wise, how much more can Pat Lam actually do as a coach? They've probably had every single training session they could have ever done. I can't see how he can surprise them that much now after that long period of time.
It's difficult,
and the versatility of the players is what worries me. I'd rather we had players that we played in it's great having players you can switch around when you need to during a match. But I would love to see players that actually fit the right holes in terms of that's your position on the pitch. That's where you play.
Yeah.
I feel the versatility bit works for some players, but not everyone.
It's funny that because it's in the context of the World Cup and the England squad of football. Apologies to those people who hate football, but some of us like all sports. Is that Thomas Tuchel has completely gone away from that. The thing that's not worked for us for 60 years is to pick the best players and try and shoehorn them around, and has gone for a team of people that are good in their positions and kind of has got a system that works for everyone. Now, I say this with trepidation because we ain't played our first game yet, but nothing else has worked, has it?
No.
So, and I mean, it's an interesting point. It's getting the, it is getting the players so comfortable in what they're doing in those positions. Because despite everything, this is the wing I find difficult, is that we talk about, I've got no doubt that our training sessions are brilliant and they're inspiring, and they talk about all the players getting touches on the ball and passing and stuff like that. But we still see people dropping the ball too often. I watched that Northampton-Leicester game on Friday, and it was just a phenomenal. The clinical, the accuracy of everything. Now, I just
did it all come off though?
Yeah.
There was no.
Yeah, there was no. It wasn't one of those games where it's like a drop ball or it's like turn. It's like it was just proper rugby.
Do you feel genuinely that we asked too much, or Pat Lam asked
I don't know.
too much?
I think, to be honest, we can't answer that question.
But watching a game, do we require too much accuracy that our players are able to deliver? It's like 90% of the game.
Do you know
to get the win and not make enough mistakes, that good sides are just going to pummel us and penalise the 10% that we drop it. Yes. And that's my feeling.
Sometimes I think it just comes down to quite basics. If your forwards get on top and you get a quick ball, you win a game. And if you win that momentum battle, I mean, you're not always going to have it. And if you make the most of when you have got momentum and you don't muck it up in the 22 and your red zone efficiency is... And you win the game. And I just think sometimes we just don't quite get that right in certain areas, but then other times we do. And then when some of those games we've annihilated people, it's like we're all, like when we annihilated Harlequins, Pack were brilliant. Our Pack are not lightweight to a certain extent.
But again, consistency.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Consistency, and I don't quite know how do you coach consistency. I don't know. And I think what we've got to look forward to next season is the same of we're going to have some great what? So
have we got anything to look forward to?
Yeah,
I'm winking at Lee.
We've got loads. Well, I think we have got loads. So, I mean, we're still going to play exciting rugby. We're going to play a good brand of rugby. We're going to win some good games of rugby next season. I can't think. We were in the hunt until the last game of the season for the playoff. Yeah. Let's be realistic. That. We still, I know, let's get rid of some of those outliers. We played some good rugby at times this season. We
never
still
denied that.
It's not like watching Sale, is it? Or...
No, but
that's not our DNA, is it? I mean, there's probably realistically more chance of Sale winning the trophy playing the way they play. As depressing as that sounds.
They're probably having a worst end of season.
They are. But you're right.
I'll tell you what, who's having a bad seat? Bath Rugby plug, that podcast. They're not. I'm interested. I might listen to their one actually because this is a total diversion. But if I was a Bath fan, I'd be pretty disappointed about what's happened.
Yeah.
How they've.
If I was a Chiefs fan,
they can't score in the second half.
Yeah, they can't score in the second half twice against their local. That's pretty damning. The team that is supposed to be the team that brings on the bomb squad to win the game in the second half. Yeah. I'd be worried if I was Bath fans a little bit.
The fuse burned out.
I think so, but let's... Anyway, I guess, did last season flatter us a little bit? Yes, we had relatively few injuries, but, our squad size is pretty much the same, hasn't it, this season? Yes, I agree.
I'm sure one before that.
Yeah, before that. Yeah. We continue to be probably the team that everyone else in the league loves to watch, would love to win. Bristol's everyone's second favourite team who doesn't win the cup, doesn't win the championship at the end of the day. And I love that as a Bristol fan. That will never go away. However, that can flatter people to a certain extent, but we've chatted about this. I think we need to readjust our expectation of how good we are as a club, where we are financially, how much our backer is prepared to put in, and where that will get us. We finished 6th at the end of this league, and I do not foresee us finishing any better next year with who is coming in, who is leaving, and the investment that is being withdrawn from the club. Fact. It's not... it's not great times, in my opinion.
That our competitors have already made. And let's face it, I don't think anyone's, even like the biggest Bear support out there, they wouldn't be going wow for the signings we've got in through the door so far, would they?
No. And that's no disrespect to the
not
signings,
at all.
But
we can't butter up and be excited. Okay, we've got Stadden coming in from Bath, who's a fantastic, who's a great player, who's going to make a difference. But that's, players injured, players leaving out. Other than that, I'm pretty reminisce as to who's going to sort of, bring absolutely international class to win us a Premiership.
Okay, answer me this then. How many season card sales have we got already?
Reported as 6,000.
They did say
the last post
4,000.
No, it's a bit more. It's gone up. I think it's got 4 to 5, just potentially 6.
So potentially that's about 4,000 down on the same point last year.
But my point, but then my point to that, and this is like, I still like going down Ashton Gate to watch live rugby.
Yeah,
and I'm still willing at the moment, despite that, to pay my season ticket now, especially as it's 9 instalments, so I can just about afford it.
So I'm not denying that.
I don't know that. I don't agree necessarily that just because we've had an average season that people should not go and support the rugby team. I think they should still go down there.
No.
We'll all be going.
But I think as a season ticket holder, it is the best value to do that. If you're committed to go to every game, then it is the best value. I don't understand why people don't do it, because what you're basically saying, okay, I won't go. I might go every now and again, and then it's going to cost you more money unless you've got mates and mates rates. But it's a weird one because I just think, I don't know. I don't know whether season ticket sales should be a measure of what the club's doing, because I would have thought that as fans should. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
I fully agree, but you've pointed this out on a few posts. But sport is a results-driven game.
I know.
And when you're in the moment, you're in the moment. And when you're having a high, it's absolutely brilliant. And you will support the club through thick and thin. And it's not disingenuous. It's where we are. You have an average season. And the
reality,
the sitters on the fence, who is it's been a financial... not a stretch. It's not cheap, but they're like a great, Plymouth. They are the ones who are probably going to fall off and not renew. And actually, it's just that's where we probably are.
To go against my old argument is that I think there's a wider issue with the whole season, like the structure making it.
We could move on to this, couldn't we? It's like the dropping of the exhibition game, which was an absolute flop last season, wasn't it?
You could go for months without a proper game, like a Prem Cup thing. I mean,
not the club's fault.
It's not the club's fault, but that whole month of February. We had a couple of home games of Prem Cup. You lose total momentum in the season.
People lose interest and they book things in, and all of a sudden it's like, do you know what? I won't make it this week because I'm going somewhere else.
Exactly, and it is difficult, and I don't think that's the club's fault. That's a wider issue.
No.
But I also think that, it's a difficult one. It's I don't know. I just think we'll see. Well, the proof will be in the pudding. Oh, here's a question for you, right? What do we actually want? Like we're talking about, like what do we want? Do we want to just get? Are we disappointed because we didn't get a playoff, like a semi-final? If we'd been part of a really good semi-final, like we were last season, that was almost worth. No one's got a right to win the Prem or win the Champions Cup, and it doesn't look like we're going to do that. But what do we want? Do we want to? We want some sort of glory game, don't we? A glory like we had with the Challenge Cup.
No, I want to win the Premiership.
Yeah,
full stop.
What would you want? Why are we in the league?
But if that's what, But that's. I agree with you.
But is that totally unrealistic where we are?
But it should be realistic.
Well, how many teams in that league want to win the Prem like us?
Yeah, and I
6
get
or
that,
7.
But how many teams have won it? We've already reeled off.
I know.
I mean, Saints or Chiefs are going to win it. this
I mean,
year.
if Chiefs, I mean, the thing
Leicester
is,
Tigers won it.
do you know what?
The
worst team to win it, it would be Chiefs. If they win that,
because they finished fourth.
Because we will look at that and see they beat us in the playoff for down in the championship and went on that extraordinary journey to be European champions, to be Prem champions. Then they basically lost it all. And they've got it back again. So if they win it again, it's like, how can that be?
I know. And the irony is, we beat them home and away this exact season.
I'd rather Northampton win because that's, and I love Chiefs, and I actually would prefer them to win in the sense I love them. Not I love them, but they're Southwest. I like the story of them winning, but actually I'd rather Northampton won for the narrative of I'd feel better about Northampton winning because I think they kind of deserve it as well. Because they've been a bit, but that's what worries me is like if Chiefs win it, how have they done that again?
I know,
but again, it's like, well, Saints are in there, Chiefs are in there. I mean, Sarries are Sarries, and we all know about that. Tigers won it, and it just feels like there's only
Sale and us. Yeah, because Sale really would be their podcast would be saying the same thing. They should have won. They've been there. This season was a bit of an outlier for them.
But usually they're in the mix.
But you're right. Are there only 5 teams who've won it or potentially could win it that aren't Bristol? Year after year.
Why aren't we in there? I know we made the semis last year, but really why would we not even? Why shouldn't all of us be round here thinking, no, the Premiership should be the goal. That's it. That's what we're in it.
But if we're going to have a small
brilliant
squad,
tries and great games,
if we're going to have a small squad next season, which we are, we're in the bloody Champions Cup again, which means, do we say? Do we like this season? The irony is we gave the Champions Cup a good pop.
Yeah, absolutely,
and we did all right and even the Toulouse game
got to the knockouts.
We even did the year before.
Yeah,
really.
And it's like, is it worth? Should we do that, or should we absolutely focus on trying to win every single home game for a start in the Prem to give ourselves a chance of because once you get in the knockouts, you've got a chance. You like Exeter approved. They rewritten history because no third place team has ever got to the final, let alone won it. So and the stats are against away teams winning. So who knows? I don't know. You're right though. I think, but then if it is right. Everything about it is wrong. But then you point out things like our academy. We basically have had to start from scratch.
We have,
and it takes time. And Northampton have always had it. Bath have always had it. We haven't got a big and having started from scratch, we also don't have a big pool. So actually, those lads we've got coming through is quite a success story. That now we've got the likes of Kloska, George Taylor, people like that. Although then we argue, then we're getting rid of some quite good ones, like Joe Jenkins, who's should we have stuck with him for another year because he's class.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what worries me is if we drop our expectations as supporters. That's not a great start.
No.
For anything.
No, you're right.
And
I think that's why people got quite upset about that whole thing about what the purpose of, what it's all about. And I think fans, it is totally irrational to think that we've got a right to win. We should, but it isn't. That's the point of being a fan, isn't it? It isn't if we're being analytical about it. It's like we haven't got a chance, really. We probably are about 6th, but what's the point?
If you're in the top table, the top league, what is your achievement?
What's the point?
If you're not planning to win the Prem?
But then again, you look at the Premier League of football. Who's going to win that? And that's still everyone goes mental all the time.
Okay.
You still, but the ambition's still there. I mean, Crystal Palace. I'm not just picking on them, for instance, but a team like Palace. They know full well that they're not going to win the Premier League, but they've still had a cracking season, haven't they? They won the FA Cup and they won a European trophy.
But we've got no chance of winning the Champions League. No. But we might have a chance of winning the Challenge Cup again. So are we saying that it would be better for us if we're not going to get in the top 4, we may as well come 9th?
If we wanted to win a trophy, then ultimately, but then it's not great, is it?
No,
it's just but this is the bizarreness of it all, isn't it? Is that actually it would have been better to come 9th?
It would,
but then is that true? I don't know.
But then
am I being
defeatist? Lost out on those big days.
And the Toulouse, the people who went away to Toulouse will say, "Shut up." That was the best.
The memories for life.
And actually, when we love seeing Bordeaux at Ashton Gate, of course, that is a stupid.
And what's the club's ambition? top in Europe.
Yeah.
We cannot aim for second string, Challenge Cup, can we? That's not what Pat or Steve Lansdowne are about.
Yeah, you're right.
Because otherwise you could get
and I think
you can get anyone in to do that job.
And I think
that's
to be
your
fair,
expectation level.
Apart from the Toulouse thing, which I think was a bit of an anomaly, I think we proved that we are a decent Champions Cup team.
I believe so.
We played all right against Bordeaux. We did that thing at Bulls. We went and ground it out in Gleneffley.
Won at Bulls this season.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone else actually went.
No, because they're in the final now, aren't they? URC.
So I might even delete that last 2 minutes if I can be bothered, because it's completely irrelevant.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of our listeners, probably all of our listeners, are going to be. They've probably already had the same debate
exactly
that we're having now.
Anyway, is there anything else in our agenda?
I think we've done it. Right, very quickly. Few shout. Oh no, Bears women. We were just going to mention the Bears women again, very briefly. It's been a disappointing season for them.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think they had a lot of injuries, and they were
injuries, new coaching,
and a post World Cup sort of hangover.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen to them next season, because they've lost a few players because of the
central contracts.
Emma Rory, who was a good player, is gone. The Welsh players. So I don't really know I don't know really. The only thing I would say that there's potentially a little. I have no concept of this is true, but Ellie Kildunn out of contract. But has she signed for anyone yet? She's out of contract with Quins.
Yeah.
Has she signed for anyone?
No,
she'll probably sign for Sale.
To Bristol. No. Sale was
but she hasn't signed yet. That's all I'm saying. It's like a glimmer. Because she'd be a good player to have at Ashton Gate, and who knows?
What we talking about? A marketable player now?
Yeah,
aren't we? We haven't done that before, have we?
I think you're right. She's a Northerner, and she'll be. And Sale have sort of putting together
snapping up a quite a nice squad.
I don't know. I mean, next season, I think they beat Gloucester Hartbury last week, which is a great
slightly
result. Undercooked, but still did it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I haven't seen any new signings. I've just seen people leaving, which is disappointing.
Yeah. So I think we'll keep an eye on that over. And then a couple of other things. I just wanted to. I promised to do this on the last pod. It's our good mate of ours, and a good mate, a lot of fan listeners out there who know him very well. Andrew Cleaver, obviously, very difficult year. Losing his son just before Christmas. So he is doing a walk for Arthur, charitable walk, 150 miles. It's on July the 6th to the 1st of August. Andrew Cleaver, Chris Cleaver, George Cleaver and others are walking over 150 miles from Ashton Gate to Morganporth Beach in memory of Arthur for the Teenage Cancer Trust. Brilliant. So I'll put the link in, the fundraising link into there, and I'm sure, like many other lots of people will know about this, but we want to give our support for it as well.
Absolutely.
And put a bit of money in. And I mean, we had a lot, I should also say, a lot of feedback from listeners, like some really good points. We haven't really got time really to go through them all, but I want to do a couple of shout outs. So Richard Spurlock, who he's I just wanted to say, we appreciate he put a tweet. He's got some very strong opinions, and I think we really respect them. And he said, I may seem like a miserable, unreasonable bar steward, but I love Bristol Rugby, Bristol Bears, and after being promised it all, and his big thing is that we've never pushed on, and he's got an absolutely good point.
Yeah.
Never felt more let down. That's just the truth. So that is it's a very important point, and we really appreciate like interactions with people like Richard and many other people as well. He says, thanks lads, love the pod, we'll always listen, sometimes wish you weren't so soft on our failings, but probably, but I've got to try and balance it all out, but I wanted to say it because I wanted us to recognize that we do value everyone's opinions,
of course.
And I mean, our mate, Alan, he's got strong opinions, isn't he? And he's a big opinion guy about Steve not investing.
Yeah,
and
we've got to be balanced.
I don't know. So
to a certain extent.
But I think it's important that even if we don't quite agree with it, we should still recognise
raise it, of course.
People. And I'm not saying we're all individuals, but we do appreciate everyone's. And in a way, I suppose the Twitter account and to a certain extent the Facebook page, but it's mainly the Twitter account, is a forum. It's a forum for people to to air their views, and they're not expecting us necessarily to answer it. And I know we've got the other side of the spectrum. We've got fans who are very, very positive and, are good. They balance it out. They're like, come on, let's look at the bigger picture. So just wanted to mention that to a few people, and anybody, and also all the poets out there, particularly the Hambleys, JP Holden. I mean, they've kept us
going for the season.
Spencer Mizzen. I've saved all of these things. I've bookmarked them all in our Twitter account, and at some point I have this feeling that we should produce some sort of anthology about link it to whatever game it was, and just sort of have it after there. But it's maybe a summer project that.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout, because we do genuinely appreciate every interaction that we have, because a lot of the times, as we always say, through defeats, we sit together and we kind of it's very cathartic, as we've always said.
You're right. I mean, we all three of us, and all our listeners and fans, we are emotionally invested in this club. And
financially.
And financially, and we love hearing from people, the poet laureates, etc. It's what keeps us going week to week.
Yeah. So there's many others that we haven't mentioned, but we always really appreciate chatting to people when we see them at games as well, and
we love it.
Sort of feel I just feel a bit embarrassed, to be honest, half the time. But it's just it's fun. That I think the best thing that has ever said to us is not like, oh, your analysis was really on there, the way you worked out how that pod came in.
Who said that?
Well, none of them say that, would they?
No, because what they say is like, we just like the fact that you talk about the game kind of like we think about it.
You say what we think.
Exactly. And we're all different, and we've got different sorts of supporters from different backgrounds and different reasons for being involved in Bristol, whatever. And I think that's the thing that is fun. And don't ever, if you do embarrassingly do recognise us at the Ashley Gate, we do. I love it when people come and start chatting about stuff, because it makes us realise validate what we're doing, and there's people out there who disagree, whatever, but that's fine. It's
as Miles said, we're all emotionally involved in Bears, and we all want the same thing.
Exactly.
So on that slightly sombre,
do we want this to end emotionally?
Thoughtful note, and we've reached nearly 1.5 hours of ramble.
End of the season.
We're not coming back.
Why not?
No, we're not going to be back till September.
Exactly. So I think we should say to everyone, have a good summer.
Yeah.
Stay safe, especially if the sun comes out. Make sure you get some
SPF on.
Yeah, check the Met Office app for UV levels. But
he's being like a dad now, isn't he?
Both looking at me, because I've been on the pot with my Mick Paddy all weekend, and I am looking a bit redder.
That's not sunburn, though, is it?
Yeah.
Might just know they were quite proud that Lee's been able to attend this.
I've started going full Alan Brazil, haven't I, lads?
I was going to say, you look like a combination of Alex Ferguson and Rabsy Nesbitt.
I'll make sure I wear my string vest for September.
Both big children of Glasgow. Anyway, on that note, what did I say? Have a good summer.
Have a good summer.
Stay safe.
Safe.
And 1, 2, 3.
Up the Bears.